Hi, this is Veena Madhuboina. I'm here today to talk about preclinical carcinogenicity studies on rodents. Basically, this is a side effect study. We're giving the antidepressant called as SSRI drugs. And the study, it's a 90-day study on the rodents of this carcinogenicity studies. This I've done in New Jersey Institute of Technology Laboratory back in New Jersey. Basically, I'll give you the project overview right from the type of animals used to the results obtained and the route of administration. So basically the type of animals here used is, as everyone know, in preclinicals, rodents are the main type of, rodents are the mostly used species. What is preclinicals is the clinical trials done on animals, or the trials or the research, the drug research done on animals is called as preclinicals. This is done prior to clinicals, hence is referred to as preclinicals. After preclinical study, only one has to, any drug research organization, it has to file for new drug approval by the FDA, and when you get the new drug approval by the FDA, only you can proceed further to clinical trials. That is, you can do research on human beings stage wise, that is clinical stage 1, 2 and 3. That is preclinicals. Basically here the preclinicals, it is mostly done on many animals, not only on rodents. It is also used sometimes in dogs and sometimes in butterflies. So it's not just limited to rodents. Here in carcinogenicity we are using rodents mainly due to its high frequency in number. It is very economical, and rats it's very huge in number. The availability of species is also very large in economic prices. Secondly, their susceptibility for tumor growth. They are very sensitive for tumor growth, and it is very easy because they are very organospecific and they are very tumor specific. They are very susceptible to tumor growth. And next thing is, in between rats and mice also, like, there are many differences. Like when you are opting for a longer duration of a study, you could go for rats, because rats have high metabolism when compared to mice, and when you are taking the shorter duration of the study, you can take mice. This is the reason why rodents are used for the carcinogenicity study. Secondly, genders of the selected animals. As usual, both males and female rats are used for this testing. This is because differences in sex gives differences in response to chemical carcinogens. That is the only reason you are selecting the genders of the selected animals. And for this also, basically it was due to the research study, it was told that mice, they give better results when compared to rats. Though rat metabolism is very much high when compared to mice, it is the research says that mice give better results than rats. That's why both the rats and mice are being taken due to, because difference in sex gives a different chemical carcinogenesis that scientists want to observe. Now the strains of the animals used, basically genetically modified or hybrid strains are only selected because first thing is they are susceptible to genospecific carcinogenic effects, organospecific carcinogenic effects. So both the strains, they are both for some are genospecific and some are organospecific. This becomes very easy for the scientists also to clearly observe, apart from the normal growth, what exactly is happening in the organ. So that gives the clarity for the strains of the animals. Here the strains used are RASH2, P53 plus or minus strains. P53 plus or minus strains is the viral strains. This is because they are genetically modified. It could be from anaerobic bacteria or aerobic bacteria, any one of those. And apart from this, we also used Sprague-Dawley derived rats, Swift's Webster derived CD1 mouse, because it was very much in trance that there were the rats which are giving better results. So these are the strains of the animals used. Coming to dosage range, there at least like 3 dosage levels have to be compulsorily given for the control group. This gives us the idea like what is in the highest dose, what is the result given in the least dose. So basically, when you're giving the highest dose it should have the minimal toxicity, and it should not obviously affect the normal growth. And the least dose is you should not interfere with the normal growth development, and longevity of the animals has to be, normal biosynthesis and normal carbohydrates, normal digestion has to be happening, and any vacation will be tested in the excreta of the animal. And there are 6 criteria for selecting high dose. First is maximum tolerated dose. Next thing is 25-fold AUC. AUC is area under curve. It should be, the ratio is calculated as 1:25. It is 1:25 to rodents to humans. That is 25-fold AUC, area under the curve, rodents to humans. Dose limiting pharmacodynamic effects, obviously. We also have to study the pharmacodynamic effects. Like what is a body doing to a drug, and pharmacokinetic effects, what is a drug doing to a body. Saturation of absorption, maximum feasible dose. What is the maximum dose that it will have a carcinogenic effect? So, by the calculations, we found that the highest dose is 250 mg per day. It's not more than that. Middle dose is 130 mg per day, and low level dose is 100 mg per day. This much carcinogenic effect a rat or a living existing rodent species can uptake in its daily normal growth without affecting every biochemical synthesis. And the route of administration. The route of administration, it is a very important factor because of the pharmacodynamic effects, again pharmacokinetic effects. Because when a drug is released into the body, it is being attacked by many digestive enzymes. Apart from the digestive enzymes, it is also being metabolized in the liver by the beta cells and beta cells of Langerhans. So it is, the route of administration is very important. It was found that route of administration can be done through orally, through vaginal route of administration, and through inhalation. So basically, oral route of administration is a very easy method, but basically the blood when it is getting absorbed into the blood, the drug release or concentration is very less. And where the target site it is reaching, the drug concentration reaching the target site is also very less. Basically, it is not having a prolonged release when we have given through the vaginal route, that is the rectal mucosa. When it is passing to the rectal mucosa and it is directly going to the central nervous system, we have observed that the prolonged release is much, and the drug duration to the target zone is also much, and the excretion, like this we tested because the rat which is being excreting, that control group of rats have less drug in it during the excretion process. So basically, vaginal route of administration is a valid one. As usual, concentration peaks, and one more thing is concentration peaks. Yeah, when a drug is released, it is directly absorbed into the blood, not through the oral administration, like where you have a concentration peaks. It is first assimilation, absorption, assimilation, absorption. It's not like that, and the concentration peaks are very, you do not find a concentration peaks in vaginal route of administration. Hence, it's a valid one. Targeted organs. First target organ is central nervous system. Central nervous system, and it attacks the serotonin receptors of the brain cells. These receptors are leading to depression. Hence, the drug first, SSRI antidepressant drugs, they first attack the serotonin receptors, which helps in developing of new neurons. Hence, the first target organ is the central nervous system. The second target organ is liver, because every drug it has to get metabolized in liver, and of course it has to get excreted. So kidneys are also one of the targeted organs. This duration of the study, we did this is one of the repetition process of 2-year study, but we did study this for 90 days. This is, we have gone through right from the selection to the injection of the drug and administration of the drug, its route of administration, and all the targeted organs were done. and this was about 90 days, and this will be continuously repeated for about 2 years. And if you find any carcinogenic side effect in the rats or mice in any one of the control groups, then the drug dosage will be stopped there, and the procedure for testing is also immediately stopped. Thank you.